Tell me your stories about sabotage and how you think it's real. You can just unmute yourself, lovelies.
I'll go. Some of my training I've done in like kinesiology modalities and things like that. It's part of like a balance thing that we do.
Interesting. Okay. So then is it a learnt thing, Tanya?
I think so, yeah.
Sure. And this is not about blame. I don't blame parents or families or teachers, governments or modalities or anything, everyone, so that you know, those that haven't done courses with me, I don't blame. It's just I like to learn, where did that come from? Where is that belief from? Where did that come from? So yes. All right. So someone else? The concept of sabotage?
Hi, Jean. Oh.
Ruth, you go and then Ali.
Okay, well, I'm not sure. I'm just thinking that it's a behavioural response that we might return to avoid a deeper, more itchy emotion.
Itchy emotion. Ooh, I like
something
that.
bubbling.
Sure. We've now all got itchy emotions. I love it. Love it. Interesting. Okay. Ali, you want to share, darling?
Just similar. That conditioning from growing up, and the behavioural things that we've learnt from that.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So think now we're going to go into child mind, and I'm super excited because I'm teaching Millennium children, which I haven't done for 2 years, and I'm so excited. Is would a child know what sabotage is?
No.
Who teaches them sabotage?
The adults?
Yeah, grown-ups. I'm going to say grown-ups with sabotage. It's been real bad. When you've been told you're sabotage or you've told yourself you're sabotage, what has been your thought processes? Oh, by the way, I'm really going to push tonight because we've had a build-up and you're going to have a break from me because I've got some events already. So I'm going to leave you on this like, what type of thing? So who wants to answer? How did you feel when you were told you sabotage or you told yourself you sabotage?
Well, it's kind of like a vicious cycle of when you realise that you've sabotaged yourself in some way, you then sabotage yourself for sabotaging yourself. It's like this continuing pattern.
What?
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I'm just going to message someone who might be sabotaging themselves. Look at the group. It has a link. So yes, it could be that itchy emotion. I'm just going to add that in too, because we're going to sabotage that we're sabotaging, but that we're not sabotaging, but we are. But it's maybe an itchy emotion. So I'm going to use that one. I really like that one. Okay, so how do you feel when you are told you're sabotage?
You feel like shit, and you feel like you're like being blamed that you're not good enough.
Very good. Very
so perhaps
good.
some guilt might come up.
Yep. Very good. What else?
Usually anger, me.
Great. And anger, depressed, frustration, all of those things I put under the umbrella of fear. So what about when you say you sabotage? How do you feel? Oh, geez, I just sabotaged that. How do you feel?
And unworthy, like self-worth comes into it. Yeah.
Self-worth? Who said that? Because I didn't see who said that. Monique, thank you, darling. Yes. Yep.
Like you're a failure and you can't be successful.
Yeah, totally loser. Like we may as well just slap an L plate here of a big fat loser. Who's done that? Who slapped the L plate on their face?
Yep.
Yeah. Was it good? Did it feel nice? Okay.
Full of shame.
Shame. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Or I don't like that, but I like that. Okay. What
And
else?
it's the whole not good enough thing, because you know you keep on doing work, and you're still not there. And you know, people go, "Oh, you're self-sabotaging again."
What? All right. So straight off, those that done medical intuition with me, the 8 days, can you just pop your hand up, please? You know that I'm going to tell you, never, ever, ever say, thank you so much for sharing, ever say you have worked on yourself. There is nothing to work on. So that's straight out, pull that out, because you're already perfect, just in different stages of remembering. That's in every book that I've written and the book that I'm about to write again. You can't work on yourself. All you can do is remember who you are. But Donna's right, this whole thing of you've been told, like, you know, Jean, you've worked on yourself. How many courses have you done? And like, you're still in this shit. Like, what the hell? Who's had that said to them? Okay, now keep your hand up. Who's had that said to them? Now, who has said that to themselves? Put the other hand up as well. Stop it. Stop it. All right.
But I don't anymore, because I did medical intuition, remember?
Okay, you scored, Donna. You've done well. I'm just going to go through the list again. Allison's going to be late. I know Norma's on her way. Olivia is not here. Ruth, I've got Ruth, and not the other Ruth. Therese is not here. All right, we're going to make a juicy start now. So I'm going to go screen share, and we'll go to here and here. And we'll also go to here. So I have made it where you can't put questions or typing in the chat box because it distracts me. So just write, you know, the routine, everyone write your questions down so that you've got them ready. Pen and paper if you want it, and let's go for it. So what we're doing is stop sabotaging yourself, the illusion of, with medical intuition. Because a lot of people don't realize medical intuition isn't just about, when I teach it, isn't just about heal your body, heal a disease. It's find the story and really be able to shine your brilliance on some level. So what if you could tune into your body to work for you on that stopping the sabotage? Because there is no such a thing as failure. There is only something to push you in the right direction. Now, whoever said it, said there was no such a thing as failure, there's only results. Whoever said, full credit to whoever. Love that saying. I think that should be said to every child, every adult. But it's understanding, wait, there's another story that's happening. And that's why I like the body. And to work out, oh my God, look at that. What's going on? What's going on? And to all of those that shared their sabotage with me, thank you very much. They're actually going to be in the PowerPoints, but you won't know who said whatever because I've very cleverly cut everything out. So there's confidentiality. So sabotage and what it means, get this. I just love it. Deliberately destroy. That's why I don't like the word sabotage. I don't ever think anyone sabotages ever, 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 ever. We never, ever sabotage. It is just a thing. But we don't go deliberately and go, I'm just so going to destroy myself. I'm so going to damage myself and I'm going to obstruct something. And it will be an unconscious pattern of some sort, but we don't go and say, oh my God, I'm just going to so damage this and make sure my business doesn't run well or my health doesn't. And I'm going to make sure I eat that sugar. But that's the word sabotage. That's why I would love for you to be curious and open that you never, ever sabotage. You don't deliberately destroy, damage, or obstruct something. It's not deliberate. There's just another story happening. So straight away, I'm going to stop sharing the screen. What do you think so far?
I
love
haven't written
that.
everything down.
Oh,
What was that?
Oh, panicking. We haven't written everything down.
No, that's okay. You'll get that. I can put that particular thing in the chat. I'll put that in the chat so you don't even have to write it down. But now that I've said to you, it's deliberately destroy, damage, or obstruct. What do you think of the word sabotage now?
I think that it's crap. We don't deliberately set out to do something.
No, it might be an unconscious behavior and a story that we've learnt, but we don't go into like, I'm so going to damage myself. Where's that packet of jelly babies? And let me get in and let me just totally damage my body. I can't wait to do that. What else are your thoughts?
So, am I done now? Right, okay, cool. I was just trying to unmute myself. Sorry. Threw out the sorry. It's that everything that we do is not about sabotage, destroying, eliminating, all that kind of thing. It's all about love. So no matter where we come from, it's based on how do I improve this situation, not how do I wreck it or make it worse.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's why I said right at the beginning, let's stop sabotage with medical intuition, is straight away, I need to know the meaning. And I always look up the meaning of things, or I'll ask the meaning. So if I was doing a session with you, I would say, what do you mean by that? What's your meaning behind it? Because the meaning of things is really, really important, and it builds a story. And so because my meaning, one, English is my third language, Greek and Arabic was my first two languages. I need to understand, what are you saying? What are you actually trying to say? And if we work down, people aren't sabotaging themselves at all. So I want to find the story. So just remember that for the next bit. Let's go back to screen sharing. And let's go to here. Let's go to here and here. So deliberately destroy, damage, or obstruct something. And if you want me to put that in the chat, you just let me know at the end and I can put that in the chat. So do we do it on purpose? My favorite answer is yes, no. What? Do you know how to purposely destroy and damage and obstruct something? Well, somewhere we do unconsciously. We did it as a pattern somewhere over there. Past life, as a child, as a teenager, as an adult, doesn't matter, it's all the same time, that we somewhere do deliberately obstruct something, but no, we don't do it on purpose. We're doing the both at the same time. Now, the obstruction might have been a form of what I call self-defense, which is held in the thymus gland. I'm just going to stop that because that doesn't feel quite right. That, and it's the meaning that we put to it. Well, you know, they're offering me this free house, but I have to sign a contract about something or other. So that's why I say it's like, yes, no. Is there a hidden meaning behind a sabotage? Totally. And that's why I love to use the body. The body will speak. It holds the stories. It's the one thing that we own. And is it a subconscious story locked in your body? Yes, totally. And it's just discovering what is actually going on. And so when you hear a person's story, is understanding. Now, the base place that I put sabotage, but I don't like the word sabotage, is I say it's in the general brain. All of the brain is sabotage, but also what's in the brain is learning, expectations. And so it's something that I haven't quite learnt. And so then we call it sabotage. So how many of you have done this one thing and learnt it and read it over, and then someone said it and then you heard it again, but you read it again, and then you went to another course and you heard it again. And it wasn't until one day you went pop and the penny dropped and you learnt it. It's like, oh my God, I just got it. So I always say that your body is always talking, whether it's body aches, money problems, arguments, time, whatever. And what's happening is just trying to show you what is going on, what's actually happening for all of you. So the body will also show what you're doing. Outside is inside. Inside is outside. So one of my clients, she messaged me today with a photo of her kitten. And she said, oh my gosh, I was away and the family got this kitten and it's so beautiful. But it's so riddled with fear and blah, 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 blah. And I said, that's you. Now she's done medical intuitive course. I said, that's you. What? That's you. Everything outside is us and everything inside is us. And so when we think it's the illusion of sabotage, it's just the universe saying, hey, have a look back. Just look back, showing us what's going on. So I want to share of someone who on one of my mentoring programs, I talk about ego mindset, and you've got to name the ego. And this person called their ego Fiorella, crusher of dreams. And her dream was to run women's circles. And she did a couple of private sessions while she was doing the mentoring with me as well. And the private sessions were, I'm sabotaging. It's just not working. I'm just sabotaging. But it wasn't sabotaging. She had another story happening for her. And it was just a program of not being good enough, it won't work, high expectations. It was just the ego mind saying a big story. And the ego mind is just that little voice in your head that says, yeah, you can't do it, it's not going to work, look at you, you failed, oh my God, you should have done, and you've been on a diet, and how many diets have you done, and you should have known that by now, blah, blah, blah. And that's what was happening to this lady that she called her ego Fiorella. She's running the most successful circles, women's circles. They're beautiful. She integrates medical intuition with them, crystal gridding, everything she's done on the courses with me. And she's just absolute queen at it. It's the illusion of sabotage. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop sharing for a moment, and I'm going to go into the chat, and we are going to just open up the chat for a moment. So I'm just going to put in the chat so that if I ask a question, you can put a Y or a no, for yes, or N for no. How many of you have got an ego like Fiorella, crusher of dreams, that says, no, you can't do that? Look at all the Y's go. Crazy, huh? Just an illusion. Just an illusion. And this is where Donna's got N, no's. Fantastic. Kaz has got N for no, Ali's got N. All right. So if sabotage is just an illusion, what is actually going on? And I'm going to go through your examples that you sent me so that you can see. Donna's got, and there's still something, it's not sabotage though. Absolutely. And Brenda, yes, no, absolutely. That's the best answer. So I'm going to go, as I said, going to go through the examples so that you can see what I mean. So this one of my biggest sabotages that you might want to include in your masterclass next week is when I feel down emotionally, I eat shit food. All right. So in the chat box, how many of you, when you've been emotional, have eaten shit food, wrong food, sugary food, any sort of food? If you could just put that in the chat, that would be awesome. Perfect, amazing. Always chocolate, of course. Perfect, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So why? Because it's the illusion. Anything emotional, when we feel down, we want something to make us feel better. And the quickest, easiest way is the digestive tract. We put something into our mouth. Our mouth is about taking information in. And let's pretend my pen, I want something smaller. My whiteout is a chocolate. Yum, yum. We take that in. It initially makes us feel good, especially at the end of the tongue. Is the sweet, yum, tastes great. I feel so much better. Yum. We digest. I feel so much better when I take this. It goes down the transport, the esophagus, down into the stomach, conscious mind. I feel so much better. I'm so conscious of my feeling better right at the moment. And so sweet stuff will make us feel great at the moment. And I think it's Louise Hayes talks about the pancreas being the sweetness of life or something like that. Then I feel worse the next day because it affects my muscles and joints. So yes, I always say wheat, sugar, dairy, gluten, get off because it affect joints, muscles, mindset, all sorts of things. Why do we go for the sweetie stuff when things are the illusion that are not working, whether it's feeling down or you couldn't do it or getting frustrated with the computer or whatever? because we've been taught, excuse me, to have that immediate sweet fix. Now that could have been, I'm going to give you examples. And it happened to me with my younger son. My boys didn't grow up on wheat, sugar, dairy, gluten. And we were at the shops, and this is when shops would have lollipops for kids and things like that prior to COVID. And before I could say anything, the lady had said, here's a lollipop to my younger son. And I went, oh, it's straight in his mouth. Oh my gosh. He had a lick and it dropped on the ground. And he screamed because the sugar was so good. He screamed. We're at the shops. Everyone's like, oh, some lady came up. Oh my God, you got to buy him another lollipop. No. Let him cry. I let him feel the emotions. And I explained, thank you so much, but my children are allowed to have sugar. She had the problem more than I did and more than my son did. But it might have been somewhere we've been taught when you're sad, I'll give an example. This is not bad or good. Please know if you have done or doing the Millennium Children course, you know that this is not a judgment, that the mum or someone has put a dummy in the mouth. When the child is feeling bad or an emotion, a baby, dummy in the mouth, sweetness in the mouth. When I was growing up, they used to put ouzo on their finger, like the Greeks, put ouzo on the finger. I would suck the finger. I didn't have a dummy, but ouzo. So sometimes we're taught, me when I was younger, 16 to whatever age, was smoking something in the mouth. Take the information in, something in, it make me feel good initially. And so if I'm aware of the habit stacking, now this is where we're going to link up habit stacking. House cleansing is really all the things that we've shared. If I'm aware of that action, what else can I stick in my mouth? So if I have a glass of water ready, that when I'm feeling emotionally crap or I'm frustrated or whatever, something to my mouth, water with lemon. Or this is my gym bottle, but straight away pop it in. And I love it because you can put crystals and things in it. So here it's being aware. Part of sabotage, it's not deliberately destroy, damage, or obstruct something. It's like, wait, I've got feelings. Wait. And you might even do that. And just be in touch with it. I'm going to feel the feelings. I don't want to obstruct my emotions. I don't want to damage my emotions. Let's go to the next one, because this is similar. Sabotage, weight loss, or feeling like I'm getting somewhere in my business building or website building. I start to feel good, or I've lost a few kilos, something triggers me, and then something happens to make me stop doing the action steps that created the win or the good feeling. So we're just going to take the weight because it relates to the food before. And I know I have done this in the past where I had lost weight. This is when I did Weight Watchers 26 years ago. I was losing weight. Everything was honky-dory, and something snapped in my brain. I went, just eat the shit. What? It's making me put back the weight back on it. What the? Okay, so now we're going to go to the story, and I'm going to share stories because you might relate to these. And the story of I'm doing really well, and people will automatically go to I'm not deserving. I want you to delete that from your mindset as well. You are deserving, you are worthwhile, and I know because you've got a sacrum bone down right at the end of your spine, just above your bum crack or the cleft of your buttocks is your sacrum bone. So that's self-worth. So that story of you're not deserving is not real. It can come back to a story of I'm doing really well, I'm really doing really well. This person isn't going to do, or me back then, isn't going to purposely, deliberately destroy something. Sometimes it can be a story of if I do well, who am I going to leave behind? Let's say that again. If I do well, who am I going to leave behind? If I lose the weight, if my business does well, if my website is shining, who am I going to leave behind? Now, ultimately, we're leaving ourselves behind, the ego self, but it could be friendships, it could be partners, which happens when people lose weight or when a business does well or whatever. It could be parents, it could be anything. Who am I going to leave behind? Something triggers in me and something happens to make me stop doing the action steps. Now I'm going to take you back to the habit stacking. If you habit stack and you do one habit per week, it locks into the subconscious mind where you feel good, which goes back to the first point that we just had. Part of sabotage is we're not actually feeling good. And so if Gertrude is on a weight loss program and the food is really shit, like sometimes some diets are really disgusting. Food has to be good. And if the weight loss, the food tastes great, she's got ambience around her, or some of you talked about preparing your breakfast or having water and habit stacking. If it feels good, because the key with stopping sabotage is feelings and intuition. There's such your superpower. Then you won't want to stop it. You won't want to stop the action steps. If it feels really good, then you won't want to put the sweet thing in because you're feeling great already. I think it's working woohoo. Then I go and eat a chocolate or stop taking consistent action steps. Now, chocolate, which I think someone mentioned before that they ate chocolate. Chocolate, magnesium, it's a magnesium, and it's got a chemical in it that makes us feel great. So there are chocolates like, and I forgot the name of them, I buy them for the retreats. I forgot what they're called now. I can see the packet, but I can't remember. There are, you can allow yourself a chocolate a day, not the shitty Cadbury full of sugar milk ones, but there are some pan of chocolate. There are little morsel chocolates that you could have one a day, but check in when you're having it. And here, I think it's working woohoo. Sometimes if we feel like I'm not going to be loved or accepted, then we'll go, oh, sabotage, the illusion of sabotage. My brain thinks I had a little win and you can have a month holiday now and I lose momentum and then get cranky with myself because I'm back where I started. Okay, so when we habit stack and when you've cleansed your house, which is yourself, when you do the two, and then the third one is be aware, I want to be in touch with my feelings, we don't lose the momentum. We get excited by the momentum because with that habit stacking one on top of the other, I feel great. So that's why I want to keep going and I want to keep going and I want more. And then it releases all these brain chemicals and endorphins as well. Hi, Jean, my sabotage stories revolve a lot around money and thinking of, I can't do that because it's too expensive. So this is where it's great. So what's too expensive? I don't know. It could be in my family, if I bought a pet rock, which are crystals, for those that don't know, my husband would say, that's just way too expensive. But if he bought some, like he has, during COVID, so I could teach online, he has cordless headphones and he watches Netflix, and that's what he's doing right now, is watching Netflix. The price that he paid, I would think that was too expensive. It's all about perception. So is it sabotage around money, or is it the illusion of investment? Because you're all here, you haven't had to pay anything. Wait a minute, yes, you have. You've had to pay the time, the internet, what else? Maybe a pen and paper to write notes, that's all money. But somewhere you saw that it's actually going to allow you not to obstruct something. And when it comes to payment of things, it is all based around your mindset of whether you see it valuable. Not you are the value, but you see it valuable. Do you see it valuable? So sabotage ring, it's too expensive. What's too expensive? And is it going to get you to a place that you want to be? So for me, today, I had someone mow the lawns, someone was doing the pool for me, and I had a handyman doing some odd jobs. So was that too expensive? Nope. because that allowed me to then focus on making the PowerPoints. That allowed me to do the mentoring sessions with clients. It's all about perspective. Part of sabotage is your perspective, your reality. What do you call your reality? I also use the fact that, now this is where I said reality, fact. What's a fact? Who knows? A fact is only your reality. My fact is that I liked paying, and here's Money Magnet, those who've done Money Magnet with me, I like paying Ben Tomo, the pool guy, don't know his name, he's new, and Ian, the handyman, I like paying them. Why? Because my fact is I'm a philanthropist. I pay them, they do those jobs. That allows me to do my work, which then allows me to get paid to then service more people to give this masterclass for free. What? Perception. What's a fact? I also use the fact that homeschool as an excuse to put others before myself. Sure. So then I would relate to everything that's being said here. I tend to put others in my family a lot before me, comes back to, okay, it's not sabotage. What do I really want? When we start to put other priorities in front of us, we don't know what we really want. We get confused. We listen to other people and what they say, which is eye chakras, avoiding what we want and searching for other people. They'll tell me, they'll tell me. So that's not deliberate sabotage or deliberate damage or destroy. You've got to know what you want. You must know what you want. I also tend to tell myself, I don't know enough. Which we don't. We don't know what we don't know, but we can look it up. We can Google it. We can ask someone. But it comes back to, what do I want? Which is held in our bladder. What do I want? Let's go to the next one. Not sure if this is sabotaging. It is like sabotaging my love life by constantly changing my mind. This relates to back to what do I want? Why do I want it? And the emotions. If I'm not emotionally connected to weight loss, the website, building a business, doing these masterclasses, I'm very emotionally attached to doing these masterclasses for everyone that would like to join. And the attachment is I have an intention, which I talked about right at the beginning, back in House Cleanse. I have an intention. So we can't sabotage a love life if we have an intention and we have a vision and we know what we want. We only change our mind if we really don't know what we want. When we work lots, it depends on your vision. I work lots and I would like it. I want to because I have a vision. I know what I want. Self-sabotage, procrastinating. Procrastination is about perfectionism and it is actually emotions. It's avoiding emotions. I know this is crazy, but it will be avoiding the emotions of pleasure because procrastinating, priority and pleasure and putting self as a priority is held in the gallbladder. And so part of this when we procrastinate is the emotions. We'll get overwhelmed. I don't want to connect to it. What if it doesn't work? I want you to connect to it. Say you want a Jean Sheehan pink pen. I want you to emotionally connect to it. Yeah, I really want that. I really want that. And when we really want it, we will search. Our brain has a part in the brain right here in the brainstem called reticular activating system. It will hunt it down. It was like, where is it? Where is it? Mine's all about hearts. Staying small, same thing. What do you really want? We can't sabotage to stay small. Somewhere we want to stay small. Somewhere we make excuses for staying small. Somewhere we don't connect emotionally to that feeling good. giving ourselves permission to feel good. And it's not the good enough. That good enough is just a story. What will make you feel good enough? Because you are enough, which is held again in the sacrum bone. It's the feeling good, giving yourself permission to feel good, giving yourself to remove any obstruction to that thing. And the only obstruction is our mindset. That's it. Staying in a dysfunctional relationship. So in comes mindset again. What do you want? We're so taught on media, social media, all of that to focus on the shit. So when you watch the news, which I don't like it, and I talk about it in the Millennium Children course, I don't watch it because it tells you all the hyper drama of awful crap. Like I remember when COVID happened in 2020, my husband had the television all the time. I said, put your headphones on. And when they would talk about COVID, there was this like drama music and it was like ground zero of COVID. Like ground zero? What the hell's ground zero of what? And all this drama music. And then they had like floating germy things at the back. And I was just saying, oh my gosh, Jean Sheehan television would be, and today, oh my gosh, this person was able to climb a tree. This person said no. This person had love heart sunglasses on. So what do you actually want? Because if you know what you want, instead of focusing on all the shit and connect to the emotion and the wanting it and having it, this is what children do. That's why they don't understand sabotage. If they make a boo-boo mistake, whatever you want to call it, they just go, oh well. Do it again. No, I don't want to do that. I'll learn something else. And they choose to learn something else until an adult comes along and says, why won't you learn? I am learning. What are you talking about? Our stuff. So now let's go into, actually, before we go into that, I'm going to ask questions. What questions do you have so far before we go into some body parts that we're going to do a healing process right here and now? So questions.
I have one.
Yes.
You've mentioned previously, and it's come up again tonight, about the sacrum bone relating to good enough.
Yes.
Mine's broken. So mine, and I only discovered this so way long after, no, it must have been around the same time. So after, just before having Bodhi, because when exercising, I was losing the skin off all the time, and I've exercised all my life. So then I had x-rays done and learned that my sacrum, from an accident when I was about 8 years old, when my big brother pulled the chair out, put it back, but didn't put it back, you know, that thing, and fell down. So it's actually 90 degrees in the wrong direction. Is that correct? Yeah.
So what's your question, sweetie?
So what does that mean? Because you were saying questions around sacrum bone.
Oh, I probably want to answer that, but that, Donna, that's a good one for me to do Medical Intuitive Live. Yeah, okay, I could do it there. But even though Donna's had damage to the sacrum bone, she's still got a sacrum bone.
Yep.
And just a bit of a creepy thing, but it's an amazing thing. When they cremate the body, the sacrum bone can't die. It can't burn. Oh. It cannot. So when you get, say this is grandma in an urn, they wouldn't put the sacrum bone because you'd go tinker, tinker, tinker in the urn. So that's where we always have value. That's why I say we always, in ancient Egypt with the embalmment and everything else, they used to put the sacrum bone there, was eternal life. So always with us. So a bit creepy. And I went to funeral homes because I did palliation and things like that. So any other questions so far on what we did? Because I want to do a healing process tonight with your body parts so that you can see a shift in the sabotage. No?
I did have one, but I'll let somebody else talk.
Okay, darling. Okay. No other questions? Is this making sense so far that there is no such a thing as sabotage? So it's like, pull it out, it's gone. But what I'm aware of is there's another story happening and it's just about connecting to it. And the superpowers to connect to are emotions and intuition. They work together. because emotions are energy in motion. And when we connect to that thing that I want, the Jean Sheehan pink pant, I really want that. We can't sabotage getting it, because if I connect to it, I will find a way. I just know I want it. But if I'm not focused, which goes to goals and smarter goals and blah, 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 whatever smart goals stands for, I forgot, but have the attachment. I want you to be attached to, whether it be eating well, and that's where the habit stacking is really important as well. Really important. So
I have a question, Jean.
Of course, Ali.
Yeah, just when you were talking about, you know, like say the chocolate, to eat it and make you feel good with the magnesium and all that. So for me, mine is always like a lot of women around PMS, like around your cycle and things like that, is when it's the worst. And that's where my constant thought process is, I'll have it because I won't be as heinous if I have it than if I don't. So my question is, like, how do we then link the two? Yeah.
So I'm going to use that as an example, and I love the way she gave it in my module 5 retreat, which I'm actually going ahead with in September. There's no reasons, excuses, justifications, or explanations, because they become the illusion of sabotage. So around period time, the whiteouts period time, women 2 to 3 days prior will go, give me the chocolate, give it to me now, which is actually a lack of magnesium. And guess what chocolate's got in it? Magnesium. If you'd like to use that as an excuse to have it, you're more than welcome. That's fine. Or so you could have the chocolate, and if you're going to have the chocolate and you know that around period time, you've got to have the chocky, you don't actually start to have the language of, there I go, I sabotage, and you know, I was meant to have a diet, blah, blah, blah. Enjoy it. Remember, I said the emotional attachment. Know what you want. You want the Mars bar, or you want the pan of chocolate, or you want the whatever it is. You want it. Enjoy it. Because when we enjoy something, it changes the whole dynamics and the energy once it goes in the mouth. So have the chocolate. You can have magnesium, whatever, it's baths, supplements, blah, blah, blah. My favorite is peridot crystal. It is high in magnesium, whether you have it as a chip bracelet or a necklace, or there's an excuse going shopping if you're a shopper. Magnesium is huge. Those that have done module 2 medical tuition, it's the peridot in the center of the grid. And then it's knowing your cells. Because our period time is actually a really sacred time. Our purpose is, in very basic primordial thing, is babies. Copulation and babies. Like, you know, there's no romance, it's copulation and babies, copulate. So in other words, just keep producing. That's our basic. And when we don't do that, there's an emotional trigger that says, get cranky panky beforehand. And if you're aware of, wait a minute, I'm coming into that beautiful stage, how can you create a beautiful space? Now, traditionally, if we're all in the TP, let's say I was the matriarch of the TP, or any of you could be, say it's me, I would have my period, we'd all have our period together, and we would all have a sacred ceremony. The latest trend is sacred cacao, which is chocolate, magnesium. And the Mayans, they used to have 1 month, a whole year, just feasting out on chocolate to connect with the gods. So is it sabotage? Also comes back to now mindset. Is it really sabotage? If you want it and there's an emotional connection to it, then have it. Create a ritual, a habit. And it might be a habit of, you know, once a month when I get my period, so I don't get cranky pansies, I'm going to go and buy a beautiful chocolate. There's I don't know what it's called, but one of my clients showed me, comes in a little pink packet, beautiful little thing, and then it's got rose petals on it. I don't eat chocolate because it gives me migraines, but she said it's beautiful, it's dark, it's gluten-free, dairy-free, blah, 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 free. And I'm thinking, God, if I ate chocolate, I'd so eat one of them. I don't know what it's called though. So any other questions?
So just in as a follow on from that, so I do all of those things except the peridot. I have a bracelet, I just need to put it on. My issue is that once I do that, so I do just allow myself to have it and really enjoy it because it makes me feel better, but it then becomes like it feels like a habit, like a craving for it once I have it. So that's where my issue is.
Sure.
Yeah.
So then this is why I'll throw it not just to Ali, but to all of you. Is it really an issue? Because then we create what I call the drama bus, or is it a beautiful habit that I allow myself, which goes back to procrastination, we flick it to priority of, I give myself permission to indulge in everything that brings me joy. And if it's chocolate once a month, what's the worst that will happen? Now, I'm purposely challenging belief systems which are held in the bones on purpose. And I'm going to go to the concept of the good enough, the self-worth, the blame, the shame, the anger, and all the rest. If we forget that part of our journey of a soul having a human experience is to enjoy things, the emotional connection to having a good time. And I'm not saying to eat, we'll just use chocolate every day, because that will, especially shitty chocolate with dairy, and some have got gluten, some have got lots of sugar in them, that's going to make your health shit. But if you're giving yourself permission of, that's something to look forward to, that's a celebration. Or even celebrating, I'll say the menstrual cycle, celebrating the menstrual cycle, which I know a lot of women don't do anymore, which is really sad as well. So maybe it's a habit that is something beautiful, or you can all swap it. But cranky pants can also come up besides the magnesium, because there's a primordial thing of, I didn't create what I wanted, which goes back to the weight loss, the website, and the business. I didn't create what I wanted. And then we call it sabotage. And the uterus is, or prostate, same thing, is all about creation, productivity on an emotional, medical, intuitive level. I didn't create it. And what did we create? A baby. Remember, that's that really primordial dinosaur thing in our brain still. What else can you create? So any other questions before I go to the healing process?
Jean, what was the other superpower? Emotions and what?
Intuition.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Superpowers.
Can I just share something really silly?
Sure.
My name, initials is DMWF, dairy, meat, wheat free.
Perfect.
Bit of silly.
Yep. Beautiful, Donna. Beautiful. Thank you, darling. All right, I'm going to share the last part. This is a healing process, and just to show to you that the body is always, always, always supporting you, such as the sacral bone. So straight away, your thyroid, parathyroid, it's your bestest friend. It is your best friend. Now, whether it's been removed, surgery, disease, there, not there, whatever, the body doesn't know, has no idea. And are you doing every activity based around you? And if you are doing every activity based around your vision, what you want, the emotional connection to it, there's no sabotage. There can't be a sabotage, because you really want the Jean Sheehan pen. Well, you'll do every activity based around it to get there. And then I'll link the money concept in of, but I see the investment in that, which I think is $2.50 or something, but say it's $25,000. I see the value in it because we see the value in ourselves. And that we put everything, we communicate, I want that. That will help me. It doesn't make me, that doesn't make me the person, but yeah, I can see that in my life. So I communicate. I do every activity based around, yep, want it. And so that's weight loss, your business, what I call butterfly syndrome. I've got a client that I'm mentoring at the moment, and she's all focused on the business. And then she goes, oh, look at that, look, oh my gosh, I'm signing up for this. I'm signing up for all the other courses. And I think, why are you doing that? Pick one thing, just one. Make that activity to it. But she's so frightened of having the business because she's not emotionally attached. That's what she wants. She got clarity last week that she didn't actually want to open up a business. That was her dad's dream, not hers. Next one, bladder. And while I'm talking, your body consciousness is listening as well as listening to you. Your bladder, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? It's all about your wants. What do you want? If you really want that thing, you can't sabotage it. You can't, because you're not going to deliberately destroy, damage, or obstruct it. If you really want it, you won't deliberately do it. And you won't unconsciously do it either. You will always find a solution. And I say that because our brain and the way it works will always find a solution. Our general brain is all about learning. And so if you think you sabotage there, it's constantly going, learn again, because we're all still children. We're still learning. I'm still learning. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here on planet Earth. Next one is your stomach. How are you digesting the story? That thing that you're communicating with your thyroid and mouth chakra, but especially thyroid, how are you digesting it? Are you rejecting yourself? Are you digesting that that didn't work to get the pink pen? You didn't have the $25,000 and you spent it on whiteout instead? Are you digesting that you're a loser? Are you digesting that you can't ever do it? Because your digestive tract says, oh, okay, I'll just digest that. Yeah, no problems. That must be a truth. No problems. And then we reject ourselves. And we reject the emotional connection. We reject what we want. And we reject fulfillment, which is all held in the stomach. Do you really want to be fulfilled? Now imagine if it's losing weight or not having the aching muscles or whatever it is. Imagine how fulfilled you are. See how I'm going to the emotional connection. So important. And it's the emotions that get locked in our body as well. And what happens is the story runs throughout every single body part and says, oh, sure, Jean, what's that story? Let's all just jump on board together. And that's why I say it's not sabotage. The body consciousness doesn't know what's real, whether it's good or bad. It just says, ah, Jean said that. Okay, let's go. Sacred. Your self-worth, your self-value, you've all got it. You all have it. So that concept of shame, blame, guilt, etc. Even if it's the coccyx right down the bottom down here is our goals. And when people slip over and hurt their coccyx or it bends or whatever else, it's the goals are gone. So what if there's no such a thing as sabotage? That it's about getting the habits and stacking them for what you want, connecting emotionally to what you want. Let your intuition speak. You're all intuitive. You're all here. Something led you to here. Allow yourself to cleanse your house, which is really you. Allow yourself to connect to you. Connect to what you want. And then the general brain. Your brain is always learning. You might need to lower your expectations. If you're like me, I have massive expectations, not of you guys, of me. And when I lowered some of my expectations, it meant that I stopped seeing sabotage. Our brain is our teacher. We're always learning. So I'll give you an example. We've been in this house 21 years. It's the longest I've ever lived anywhere. And today, Ian, the handyman, he took all of these hooks and bits and pieces that have been there for a long time. Did I sabotage over the 21 years of renovating the house? And when Ian and other handymans have always come, why didn't I take all these hooks? There was a hook here, there was a nail there, and there was a leftover thing there, and there was thing, all this shit. And he had a box filled with all the shit. Did I sabotage? No. It's just I was learning. And there was another learning. Did I sabotage? My drawer down here of my desk, it's permanently out because it's broken. I forgot to tell Ian to fix it. That was the reason I originally got him in, was to go, that drawer needs fixing because I can't open it and close it. Wait a minute, did I sabotage? Nah, I was so emotionally attached to all of the hooks and bits and electrical things that he was fixing up and blah, blah, blah. I forgot to be emotionally attached to the drawer, but he's coming back in a week when I get the new light for outside and the other lights that he's going to install. I'm always learning. I'm always learning. And then connect to the identity of who you are. You're a hugely successful soul having a human experience. It always works out. It always works out. You can't sabotage. And if someone says to you, you're always sabotaging, your reply can be, oh, thanks, I'm actually learning. I'm still learning. I'm always going to learn because your identity is already a success. So I just take a big breath in and breathe all the way out. Take another big breath in. Breathe all the way out again. There is no such a thing as sabotage. Your body is right on board with you. Your body has heard tonight. Be emotionally attached to what you want. Allow your intuition to guide you. When we go into fear and the monkey mind, such as fearilla, crusher of dreams, that ego mindset, we start to forget. And we forget that we're a soul having a human experience and that it always works out. Just check in with yourself. Are you making it a priority? Is it important to you? How important is it? How much do you want it? Have you got that emotional attachment? How much? So I'm going to give you an example. Tonight, just before I went on, I went into my diary. I've written my food, I've written my water. I checked my steps and I went, not enough steps. Right, I'm going to keep my gym gear on and I'm going to walk in the dark, in the rain, without the dog, because I'm emotionally attached to making sure I've got my 15,000 steps. Usually I like to do it before work, but I know what I want. I know I can have it. So take a big breath in again and breathe it all the way out. And I'm just going to share a couple of things so that you have an awareness. The things that I use are things like the 10-point Merkaba, which is all about change. Remember to focus on what you want. Always focus on what you want. And remember also to say thank you for all the lessons that you have, general brain, because there's no such a thing as sabotage. You're not out there purposely, deliberately destroying your life and damaging it and obstructing something. It's just connect to it emotionally. Really check in. So thank you, thank you. And as we wrap up, is there any last questions of anything whatsoever? No questions. All right, any golden nuggets? Anything that you went, oh my gosh, that was an epiphany?
I did.
Please.
Yep. So when Bodhi was little, he had, as a baby, he had some intolerances, in inverted commas, allergies, and I took him to a clinic, and it was a process created by a lady at uni, and she removed the intolerances and allergies by actually running the bladder meridian with a massage machine, essentially, and using what do you call it, tests, so having the actual little vials of things, so running that and that together, and that actually got rid of that. So I was curious as to how those two things work together. What was it, the bladder that was running? What do I want?
Bladders are what you want.
Yeah, so that was really interesting, because it was he was a baby, but they had people all the way up to 90s who had lived their entire lives with, you know, with this lifestyle of being in, allergic to food or stuff. So that was my interesting. Thank
Beautiful.
you, Jean.
Thank you, Thyroid. Anyone else had a golden aha moment from tonight?
I did. Mine was being emotionally attached to what you want, because usually I'm emotionally attached to what I don't want.
Perfect. Perfect. And we do, when we focus on what we don't want, then the illusion of sabotage will come in. We'll focus on what I've sabotaged. And if you can change your language of you can't ever sabotage, you're constantly always learning. Ease. Instead of dis-ease, be easy on yourself. That's so important. Any other golden nuggets?
I had one, Jean.
Yes, Ruth.
It links on with Rochelle's. So she said the first half of mine. And it's also, I give myself permission to enjoy things that give me pleasure and joy.
Yep, absolutely. If you guys want that, I can send it in the chat as well. It's something I teach on the retreat. I give myself permission to enjoy stuff. Would you like that as well? The meme? Sure, I would pop that in. Another golden nugget. No other golden nuggets? None?
It's Cass here.
Yes, Cass.
My golden nugget was procrastination is looking for perfection. That's the first time I've actually realised that.
Say it again, Cass.
The procrastination being looking for perfection.
It's the perfection, and it's frightened of emotions. When we procrastinate, we're frightened generally of attaching to something, and then we go into overwhelm and it's like, I can't. And perfectionism, like we're already perfect, just in different stages of remembering. Yeah. So thank you, Kaz. Anyone else? I'm actually sticking it right in the chat for you straight away for everyone. Anything else, lovelies?
Jen, I have one. That procrastination really is the thief of joy and living a joyful life.
Yes, yes, and yes, and yes. Yes. Anyone else? So what about the illusions? Is all what we say in our head, is it really a fact? There's no such a thing as sabotage. We're only learning. Take the pressure off. Enjoy yourself. There's no perfectionism. And I've just put in the chat for you, I give myself permission to indulge in what brings me joy. And if that's a chocolate once a month and you want to habit stack that, make it a nice chocolate. Or perception, whatever you want to perceive. And as Michael J. Fox said, what you think of me is none of my business. I love that saying, and I think every kid should be taught that as well. Because it's up to us to perceive whatever, but really we can't sabotage. We're just constantly learning, always, always, always. And then it's just discovering for ourselves, not working on ourselves, as I said in the beginning, it's just discovering, that's interesting, check what I did. Just get curious with it and ask, interesting, look at that. Just is what it is. So thank you so, so much, beautiful souls. Thank you, thank you. I'm going to stop these for a couple of weeks and then I'm going to start them up again. However, I'm still doing the 5 a.m. masterclasses on a Monday morning. I know that's pretty early for some of you, but it's to cater for the different countries and etc. And they're now recorded and put in the Jean Sheehan mentoring group. I will let everyone know on Facebook on my personal page about the new masterclasses and where you can find them so that you can see the list and things. So thank you for joining our journey. Remember, house cleanse, it's you. Habit stacking, there is no such a thing as sabotage. And remember to thank your body, because it's the one thing that you own and that you always, it will talk. Those who've done medical intuition, just go back to the basics, or if you've got the medical intuitive cards, pull them each day. And I'm going to keep the Stop Sabotage open for until, what's today? Tuesday, until Monday next week. That way you can just get more and more clear. I'll drop some other little things in there for you as well. So just feedback for me, how many of you have enjoyed these series of masterclasses?
Yes.
Tell me why, so that way I know what else I can give you.
The remembering, the constant tips and joining all the dots, putting things together makes lots of difference.
Okay, terrific. What else?
I liked the time of the day that you're doing it as well. And it is every Tuesday. Just means dinner's done, everyone's ready for tomorrow.
Sure.
Not too late and tired.
Sure, great. I'm very aware because beautiful Pauline is coming in from New Zealand. So that's like 11 o'clock at night. So I'm always aware of timing for people as well. So thank you to Pauline being here at, oh my God, it's sleep time. So thank you, Ruth, as well. Other feedback that helps me to support you guys?
I think it lifts our level of awareness of what's going on for us.
Awesome. Anything else? Because it just helps me to do tweak the planning, and that's all.
I found it was really good at integrating.
Beautiful. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Any other feedback, please let me know in the chat, and then it just helps me to go deliver more. So I'm going to